we're gearing up to go back on the road, as it were, because we've been hanging out at Elrond's house for several weeks to run parallel with the company of the Nine, who are still just kind of chilling at Elrond's house too. So
right.
So, but we're gearing up to hit the road again.
Okay, so speaking of gearing up, Narsil is being reforged or being repaired.
Yeah.
Like, why is he carrying it around, and why wasn't it like reforged like decades ago? You know what I'm saying? It's like when Aragorn revealed himself in the Prancing Pony, right? When he's like, "I am Aragorn," you know, good, lucky for you, I'm Aragorn. So you check this out, and he pulls out Narsil, or you know,
the broken sword.
And he's like, he's carrying around a broken sword. It's like, dude, why are you carrying around a broken sword? I mean, it's weird to me that that's the sword that he has. Like,
does he have a sword that works?
I don't know. It never.
Does he ever
really
mention that he has his spare that he?
It's actually never stated, like, because he fights off the ring race with fire.
With fire, right?
Yeah, they build fire, and it's
get the guy a rental.
I know it's like so Elrond was like, Aragorn, son of Arathorn, I've got a gift for you, a sword. It's like, oh great, it's broken. What am I supposed to do with this broke sword? God, you hate me.
So, but in all seriousness, the fact that this sword was in fragments, it's part of its history. The brokenness of the sword has such a story behind it that the fact that it's broken is part of the inheritance. It's part of the heirloom. So it would be like, for instance, like if you, like, let's say your grandparent or great-great-great-grandparent was in the Revolutionary War, right? American Revolutionary War, and they had like some banner from their regiment or something from that war that was riddled with bullet holes,
right?
Musket shot or cannon. You know, it was like this tattered banner or flag from the war. Like, you're not going to go get those things repaired because the fact that it's ripped to shreds by bullet holes is actually what makes it cooler, because you could tell it was obviously through a war, and that makes it cooler. It wasn't just bought at Walmart, like, oh, here it's my Revolutionary War emblem or banner or
right.
flag.
But swords, like dwarven swords, are at a premium in Middle Earth. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
but yeah, it is weird that Aragorn would be walking around with a sword that didn't function as a sword. He's like, oh, bandits, tally ho, and he whips out just like a pommel.
Oh, he's got a broken sword.
Got a handle.
Right.
But weren't they kind of housed in Rivendell? And then when Aragorn turned 20, Elrond was like, here you go, here's your sword. This is
exactly. It's like, here's your sword. It's like,
crappy heirloom.
Broken sword. No, but here's the thing. Elrond was actually the one too that said that prophesized that the sword wouldn't be reforged until Sauron rose up again.
And they found the ring. So Otar, Squire of Isildur, took the sword shards to Rivendell, but Elrond foretold that it wouldn't be reforged until the One Ring was found again and Sauron returned.
Well, you know why he did that, right?
What's that?
You know why he did that, right?
Why?
Because he was just like, that's never going to happen, so we never have to forge the sword again. It's like, what is like the most unlikely thing to happen? I mean, we would have to deal with this thing. I can see Gandalf walked up to Aragorn. It's like, oh, I've got something to tell you, Elrond. It's like, oh, what is that, Gandalf? The ring has been found. Shit. I gotta forge that sword again. Damn it!
Oh, it's such a pain in the ass. That's a good one. The ring's been found again, and Sauron's on the rise again. God damn it! Maybe he won't remember. Maybe he won't remember my promise.
Yeah. Well, good. I bet Glorfindel that would never be found. Now I owe him 5 gold pieces.
It's like you ever have like a broken guitar. It's your favorite guitar, and it's like
Yeah.
broken, and you're like, oh, it's gonna be such a pain in the ass to like get that working again or to set it up. Remember my Spirit, my Oscar Schmidt.
Yeah, yeah.
The action's all messed up. Everything's messed up on it. But I could never give that guitar away because it's like it was my stage guitar for so many years. But if I was ever going to destroy a ring or go on tour, I would get it going on. Maybe we're answering our own question. Maybe like Aragorn is like, okay, well, there's no reason to fix this guitar, no reason to fix this sword. I'm not going on tour.
I'm not going on tour.
AKA, I'm not going back to Gondor to reclaim my throne yet. But now with the ring bearer going forth, this is my chance to go on this world tour, make T-shirts, fix my ring or fix my sword, hit the road.
But here's another thing that I discovered while I was like looking into that, and this is like where the Bakshi film and the Peter Jackson goes for dramatic creative license. So they're showing that they cut like that Isildur cut the ring off of Sauron's finger in the heat of battle. They're fighting. They cut the ring off the finger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reading the texts, they are walking like Isildur walked up and cut the ring from his finger, and like while Sauron was down on the ground,
Right.
like he
not in the act of fighting. Well, he did like so Isildur says that he's taking the ring from Sauron as Wergild, which is
right,
like
he turns into a wolf, right?
Yes, he took it so that the ring could turn him into a wolf. No, but Wergild or Vergild is it's like an old Anglo-Saxon tradition where, let's say, like it's like blood payment.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if your tribe or if your family kills a member of my family, then I will ask your family to pay money to my family to make up for that, you know.
Right.
So it was
So which brings us
part of like a penalty
right, but
for a murder.
this does bring up an interesting point though too, okay?
Mhm.
Like because doing these deep dives, like you always learn something, and again, or you like, oh yeah, I knew that and I
Mhm.
forgot, but like I don't remember in the texts where it was written that Isildur walked to the seventh Nar and was on the precipice of throwing the ring into the cracks of doom with Elrond. That never happened. That was kind of a little bit of dramatic license
Right.
in the Jackson movie. So really now it makes sense
As
of
far as I
why he
know,
didn't
yeah,
destroy.
Tolkien never says he was going to destroy it but didn't.
Right. No, but now that he is Vergild,
Mhm.
that makes sense that it wouldn't have gotten destroyed. That that he's like, oh, this is like this is our symbol of victory. You know what I'm talking about? So it kind of like
Right.
it.
Or this is what you owe me because you killed my dad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think yeah. Well, I mean, however you want to look at it, but
Right. Right.
that's it wouldn't be like this is going to be like an heirloom good that's going to be passed down from family to family to remember this victory or to remember my father, whatever you want to
Yes.
call it.
Yes. Okay.
And it wasn't like, well, why didn't he just destroy it? It's like he didn't destroy it because I don't think it ever crossed his mind to destroy it.
Mhm.
Considering the mindset that he was in.
Right, right. It should have been cast. So he says it should have been cast into Oradurin's fire, nigh at
Yeah.
hand, where it was made. But few marked what Isildur did. He alone stood by his father in that last mortal contest, and by Gil-galad only Círdan stood, and I. But Isildur would not listen to our counsel. So, okay. So I guess he does counsel him to throw it into the fire, but it doesn't say that he actually walked to the precipice
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there was a moment of indecision on Isildur's part.
Right, right. I mean, he could
So
have been
you
like,
could
"Hey,
see
let's."
it was a creative interpretation of the text, I think.
Right, right. And
But
again, I'm not saying it's bad. I mean,
right by Jackson,
like
right,
visually,
right, right. Yeah, he's making a movie, so that's good. But then he says this. So Isildur's basically justifying taking the ring from Sauron to Elrond, saying, "This I will have as Wergild for my father and my brother," he said.
Yeah.
And therefore, whether we would or no, he took it to treasure it. Soon he was betrayed by it to his death. And so it is named in the north Isildur's Bane. Yet death maybe was better than what else might have befallen him, because he might have
Right,
become
right.
a dark lord himself.
So
So it's
so
better
this
that
brings up
he
another
died.
interesting point too, is the fact that like he claimed the ring and he didn't become evil right away.
Well, maybe he died before that transformation
Right,
could
right.
take place.
My point is like if Boromir, Aragorn, take your pick, would have claimed the ring, they probably would have defeated Sauron. You know, I mean, again, I think we're, and you might have had like a few years of peace, but like again, like the whole corruption of the ring would ultimately have been the downfall. But
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. I guess like it's implied in a lot of like I don't want to say fan fiction, like interpretations that you claim the ring and all of a sudden you're evil. I don't think that that's the case.
Right.
And
Well, it
you
can't be the
think?
case because Bilbo wore it and
He
did
didn't.
turn the Shire into his personal Mordor.
Right, which
I
would have been
mean,
cool, but he
that
missed
was
out on a golden opportunity there. I mean, I'm just
can you
saying.
imagine having the like he makes the Sackville Baggins is like be like
It's
furniture in his
lackeys.
furniture in his
No.
house that he puts his feet up on. Like, here, kneel down so I can put my feet up on your back. Well, speaking of fixing swords, I find it interesting that like right when Aragorn has his sword reforged and is ready to go into like this important like quest,
Right.
right? You have like this parallel scene where Bilbo takes Frodo into his room at Rivendell and he says,
Hey, Frodo, come pull my finger.
he literally says, here's your pull my finger. No, he literally says like, here's your sword. I forgot to reforge it. Your sword's
Yeah.
broken too, but I was going to reforge it, but I forgot. He says I forgot.
Right.
Where it's like Frodo's like, well, what am I, chopped ham? I'm not as important
What am I?
as Aragorn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bilbo kind of dropped the ball on that, didn't he?
Yeah, actually, let me turn to that. Here's your sword, Bilbo said, but it was broken, I took it to keep it safe, but I've forgotten to ask if the smiths could mend it. No time now, so I thought perhaps you would care to have this, don't you know? So he gives them Sting instead.
Right. Here's something that, like, again, maybe intentional or unintentionally, right? But do you think that this is a way of like of Bilbo, like, I can't go, but I want to go, so this is my way of traveling with you?
Kinda, yeah. It's like Sting is it's a sword with a name. I
Yeah.
don't think the sword Frodo was carrying had a name. Did he ever give it a name? Probably not.
No,
No.
just
So
like
this is a sword that
broke
kind
ass
of,
sword.
yeah. It's kind of like the brand, like the Hobbit sword of quests. So now he has Sting.
Right.
You know what I mean? But funnily enough, he says he took from the box a small sword in an old shabby leathern scabbard. Then he drew it, and its polished and well-tended blade glittered suddenly cold and bright. This is Sting, he said, and thrust it with little effort deep into a wooden beam. I could just imagine like Elrond like peering over the window and like, why are you stabbing my house, bro?
It thanks a lot, dude. What is it? What? Like chop liver? This is my beam is chop liver to you?
Like,
It's like,
dude, I let you stay at my house for free. Why are you chopping my
dude,
beam?
it's like, what the frick, dude? Have you ever read the rough draft, the first draft of this?
Oh, no, this part, no.
Yeah, because then he put it, and just then Elrond walked by and said, "Really, dude? You know where I got that bean from, man? That's 100% Ent." It's like, anyway.
I'm surprised the beam didn't say "ow." That was my friend Shaggy Toadstool Roots from
Shaggy Toadstool
Fangorn.
from the grassy knoll. Anyway.
So Fangorn, or I'm sorry, Treebeard in Fangorn, always was wondering what happened to the Entwives. How do you think they built Rivendell?
Yeah. It's a dark. It's like the dark secret of Elrond. It's like, shh, don't tell Treebeard, man. I've been avoiding him for centuries. Look, man, I came upon them. They were dead already, bro. I didn't want them to go to waste. Figured it would be a nice fitting shrine to all the Entwives. How would you handle that anyway?
Dude, I was at Home Depot and like I couldn't believe the price of lumber, bro. And so I was like, Entwives, they're cheap.
I think we somewhere we've crossed a line. I don't know. I don't know, man.
And then he gives the mithril mail to Bilbo or to Frodo.
Right. Like I said, I think just like that whole like it's Bilbo's way of I can't go with you, but I will protect you as much as I can. It's kind of a very fatherly kind of thing that he did. I think.
The other thing I always thought was kind of funny about the mithril coat was that no one really likes how it looks on them. So it's like he gives it to him, and Frodo's like, "I should look well. I don't think I should look right in it," said Frodo. Just what I said myself, said Bilbo. But never mind. But never mind the looks. You can wear it under your outer clothes. So it's like I think of it as like this silvery tracksuit that's like really gaudy. Like, can you imagine? Like it's not really it's not like, really my usual bag, right?
It's like the thing that it's like the clothes that your grandma gave you, like back in the day. It's like wow, I really do need a sweater, but I don't need a sweater with a kitty cat on it.
Right, but the fact that it's like super silvery, like I can imagine it's like this like thing you need to put sunglasses on. Like, God.
Yeah. Do you think that Frodo was like if I put on this this armor, all those guys are gonna think I'm a poser?